This is the best cycling camera ever made to date, end of October 2025, in my opinion, and there are 4 reasons why I believe that to be the case, and they are the 4 things I'm going to share with you in this video, as well as how to get the perfect setup. You'll need some additional items which aren't going to cost you too much, so I'll go through that shortly. But before we get into it, please be aware that Insta360, they're a partner of this channel. They send me all the cameras for free. They even pay me financially to make a certain amount of content on an annual basis. So I appreciate there will be a lot of skepticism for those of you watching this video, but please bear with me because the 4 reasons are factual and they come from over 8 years of making cycling content and using cameras, and I'm very happy about what I now get to use. Now, some of you may be thinking, why aren't you talking about the X5? You know, this camera here, which is the camera that gets everything. But I am personally not a huge fan of this camera for my cycling. And I'll explain why at the end of this video. So it's actually this camera right here, the Insta360 Go 3S, that sold me on Insta360. You see, I've been a GoPro user, or I was a GoPro user for a number of years. And the 3 things that sold me on this camera were: number 1, it's small and lightweight. Number 2, it's super discreet. So you're not the, hey, look at me everyone, I'm filming, when you're in the local group ride. And number 3, its point of view was the best I have seen, which you were able to facilitate with other cameras such as the GoPros, but the straps that you had to wear in order to get that point of view just made it not practical for me. Whereas with this camera right here, all you needed was a magnet strap under your jersey and an attachment, and put the camera on and off you go. Now, the 2 downsides of using this camera, the reason why I didn't say this one was the best cycling camera I've ever used, was 1, outside of the modal or module or whatever you want to call it, you only had about less than 30 minutes of filming at 4K 30 frames. And also the footage quality was good enough, but it was lacking in terms of clarity and colors. So now we have this camera here, the Ultra. What are the 4 reasons that make it the best cycling camera I have ever used? Number 1 is the point of view. When I speak to other riders in the local group ride or other content creators, 9 times out of 10, and I don't have any studies on this, it's just anecdotal, they prefer this point of view, which has the camera sitting on your chest via the magnet attachment, which you can easily adjust based on how high or low you sit on the bike. And as you can see here, we can see the handlebars, computer mount, and riders to the side and out in front. From a technical standpoint, the new Ultra versus the Go 3S now has a 156-degree point of view versus 150. Adding to the point of view is the quality of the camera is now far superior with a larger sensor and AI-powered processing chip, which gives this Ultra apparently 50 times more computing power. Therefore, the colors are crisper, the white balance is more accurate, all while the point of view has stayed as easy to use as the Go 3S. Number 2 is battery life is now more practical. As mentioned previously, when I was running the Go 3S on the chest, I was getting somewhere between 26 to 28 minutes at 4K 30 frames, which isn't quite enough for a lot of your local group rides and things that you want to capture. Now with the Ultra, outside of the module, you're getting, according to Insta360, at 4K 30 frames around 60 minutes, or if you put it back inside the module, according to Insta360, this isn't at 4K, this is at 1080 frames, you're getting around 200 minutes. Personally, in my experiences, outside of the module, I ran this recently in vertical mode on the local Tuesday group ride, which is great for those of you wanting simple Instagram footage. And my camera ran for 56 minutes on that day. If you're going for a longer ride and you need to turn it on and off, like I did for this Saturday group ride where the ride goes for over 90 minutes all up, I made it to 4 separate files, totaling a touch over 40 minutes, shot in 4K, 30 frames before the camera ran out of juice. Keeping in mind, I was turning the camera off and on. Hopefully you can see here, just on the side there, where you're turning it off now. Turning it off and on, trying to capture the best parts of the group ride, that's gonna chew through the juice, hence why I only got about 40 minutes on that particular ride. Back in the module or in the pod, I ran this setup as a vlogging setup on a trip to Switzerland recently and turned the camera on and off around 50 times at 4K 30 frames, and that got me to 1 hour and 18 minutes of footage. Not bad considering the amount of times I turned this off and on, and also consider when I was doing that vlog, I was also using the beta software because this camera was yet to be released. So in terms of battery life now for my cycling needs, it's certainly good enough. Number 3 is despite the improvements in battery and camera quality, it's still discreet and lightweight. Now I've seen on some other channels, they describe this camera as now being bulky because if you're using it for things like clipping it to your hat, which some people do, if you now put the Ultra there, it's blocking part of my view, but we're not typically doing that in cycling, and for cycling purposes, I don't believe the size of this camera is an issue, as it still sits discreetly on your chest and it's only weighing roughly 15 grams more than the Go 3S. And keep in mind, roughly a third of the weight of the GoPro Mini. If I was to pick at the size, when it's sitting on my chest, I do notice during a ride, it there occasionally, which with the Go 3S, like once I put it on, I just completely forgot about it. And that's to do with a little bit of flex that you can get through the jersey. But I do have a solution to that, which I'm going to get to shortly. Number 4 is the stats such as speed, power, and heart rate. In the past, this was probably the biggest frustration for me. This was literally big files, desktops, hours of time. Now you can simply do it on your iPhone or any smartphone for that matter. So when I get back from my ride, and I'll actually do this while I'm stretching on the mat, I put the camera back in the pod, open up the Insta360 app, select the file I want to look at, add stats, which automatically pulls across from my Coros bike computer, and then pick a section from that ride I want to put on Instagram. So this can literally be done in 10 minutes. Although for me as a content creator on YouTube that wants to do some bigger things outside of a phone, I was super pleased to hear that Insta360 recently added the stats feature to their desktop app, which previously wasn't available. Although I believe on the desktop, they're still working on the timing adjust feature if your stats are a little bit out, which you can currently do on the phone app, but you can't do on the desktop app. So it just means that if your data is not correctly synced, then it's not going to look that great from a desktop perspective. So how do you get the perfect setup with this camera? You're going to need a few things. Number 1 is obviously the Insta360 Go Ultra. Number 2, the Go Ultra Flexi Angle Mount. Number 3 is the magnet pendant. Number 4 is an arm strap heart rate monitor. And number 5 is a base layer. Personally, I slip the magnet pendant under the base layer as it makes the whole system more secure by reducing the amount of movement that can happen in the material if you're just wearing a jersey. I then add my Coros heart rate strap to my left arm, which is this one here. And if you want to capture heart rate data, having a chest strap becomes a little bit challenging with everything else going on down there. Hence the arm strap comes in handy. Finally, I attach the camera just to the left of the zipper so I get a stronger attachment to the magnet, and this doesn't appear to impact the point of view at all. So now you've heard my 4 reasons. Do you agree or do you disagree? And if you disagree, what camera out there is better? Let me know below. The reason why I don't think the X5 is better, just my opinion, it's quite heavy and bulky. I don't like attaching bulky things to my road bikes, even though I do appreciate the point of view every now and then. Number 2, it's quite look at me. I'm filming everybody, so everyone kind of knows that you're filming. And number 3, outside of being quite finicky to get the footage because it's obviously capturing everything and you need to narrow in editing where you're going to go, is the point of view I feel only really is good for certain sequences like, you know, sketchy crit races or gravel races. Whereas if you're just doing bunch rides and riding with friends, I really think that straight ahead point of view with the bars is the best. A quick mention on the Insta360 Black Friday deals on the Ultra right now. Depending on where you are in the world, you can get somewhere between 10 to 20% off. Links below, of course. And if you're after more of the 360 view, I believe the X4 at the moment is going for up to 30% off. Links below. So if you got value from this video, please don't forget to give it a like. Helps the channel out, and I'll catch you in the next video.